Hello everyone and welcome back to the official developer playthrough of Mistwinter Bay. I'm LevUNknown.
And I'm Wogglawooh.
And today we're gonna continue our playthrough of the game, and we just released an update for it yesterday by the time of recording, so we might see some new events, but I doubt that. And also it's been a while since the last time, so we probably forgot a lot of things since we took a needed break over the holidays and also did a lot of work on the game. Yeah, before we get going, I just wanted to address a comment that we have gotten, not a YouTube comment, it's in another place, where someone said And now that we had that out of the way, if that made any sense to anyone, we should probably go to the town and see if we can maybe build something. Or maybe that was the last thing we did, I can't even remember anymore.
Yeah. Don't think we have the resources to build anything. Well, there's this one, but... Let's just wait. And just as a recap, no one really likes us. It's only MG who has slightly positive reputation.
Yeah, that's how it goes when you randomize the outcomes.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that adds to the replayability. As long as you don't pick the exact same options you did before, you will see very different things. So you just gotta be prepared to not do exactly the same things that you did before, and then you will get very different outcomes.
Oh yeah, I have to read it.
Yeah.
Sophia, my hairbrush is missing. I can't tell, your hair looks good, kiddo. Still, I'd like it returned. You think I took it? It wouldn't be the first time. I didn't take it. I don't believe you. I'm serious. I'm your advisor. You can trust me when I say I'm serious. Then where is it? Some chambermaid probably misplaced it. Is it really that big of a deal? Well, it's mine. If it's stolen, it could be seen as a pretty serious crime. Come on, kiddo, would you really charge someone for stealing a hairbrush? What if the hairbrush is the start of something more... What if the hairbrush is the start of more serious theft? You have a point. Although this is just the first thing that went missing, right? Yes. Then it might as well be a mistake. It wouldn't look good on you to charge someone for a mistake, would it? No, but still. Hey, I get it. No need to explain yourself. I'll leave it up to you to decide if we investigate this or let it be.
So, it's time to randomize. Let's see. Number 1. Investigate.
I don't think I can let this go. My mind won't be at ease until I know whether the hairbrush is stolen or not. Then we investigate it. It's not more complicated than that. Or wait, it kind of is. Not the process itself, but the fact that we're running short on personnel for stuff like this. Besides, sending one of our own wouldn't be a good idea, would it? If it was stolen, it might very well have been stolen by the one we sent to investigate. I would look into it personally, but I just don't have the time. Then what should we do? Let's just request aid from one of your subjects, from someone who isn't part of your staff. That's a good idea. I'll leave it up to you to decide who to send, although I suggest sending someone who wouldn't trip on their own feet if they have to tail someone.
Well, and all of them seem likely except for Dawn.
Let's just randomize a number then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... No, 5, 10.
10. Great count. Number 2, Cecil.
I think we should send Cecil. I'll find Cecil right away and explain what we want. I'll give you a report in a day or two. Hi, kiddo. So, about that stolen hairbrush. Has Cecil found anything? Unfortunately not. Cecil has been monitoring the estate for a few days now. No one has acted suspicious or mentioned any hairbrush. The hairbrush itself hasn't shown up either, of course. That might be a good thing, though. It might be a sign that nothing was stolen after all. But it could just as well mean that it was stolen and that Cecil simply got fooled by the thief. That's possible, of course, but seriously, kiddo, who would steal a hairbrush? I don't know, an artist maybe. People used to make jewelry out of the hair back in the day. That's a good one. Admit that you're reaching now, kiddo. Just relax, everything will be fine. I'll tell Jack to give you a new hairbrush and you can forget all about this. I guess there's no other choice.
You're about to head off to bed after a long day of work when a figure emerges from the shadows in the throne room. Am I supposed to read that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna read that.
Good evening, Sovereign. I hope I'm not bothering you.
I was going to retire for the night, but I can give you a few moments if you need. But before that, may I ask why your clothes are ruined?
Being your servant may put food on the table, but I neither have the money to buy new clothes nor time to repair these. I've had them looking like this for years.
Then you can't have worked for me for a long time. I make sure that my servants are paid fairly, well enough to buy new clothes.
I have been here 3 months, my liege.
I see. I apologize, but I don't think I recall your name.
It's Trinia, my liege.
What is it you wanted to tell me, alone, at this hour?
I actually want to talk to you even more private later.
Talk about what?
I know who stole your hairbrush last month. They've only just begun stealing, I'm afraid.
Is that so?
I would tell you all about it now if I weren't so afraid of the culprit listening in on the conversation. If you meet me here at midnight, I'll tell you all about it. Make sure to come alone, though, or the culprit might be warned.
Are they somewhat to be feared?
Definitely. I will wait for you here at midnight, my liege. Trinia slips away through a servant door. If what Trinia says is true, your hairbrush was indeed stolen and the culprit you failed to find last month may be revealed to you. However, meeting Trinia alone at midnight doesn't sound like a great idea. You don't understand why Jack and Sophia can't be present, or a few guards. If the culprit really is as dangerous as Trinia implies, it may be best to show up alone, because you feel it's too important to miss out on the information. Then again, it could be a trap. Bringing some hidden backup might be in your best interest. You are set on going. Question is whether to go alone, as Trinia requested, or not. Then let's randomize it and we'll see. I'm pretty sure it said 2.
Hidden backup.
It would be foolish to go alone to something that could easily be a trap. Jack and Sophia have to know about this as well as some guards. With that in mind, you head off to your advisors. Midnight arrives. You stand alone, awaiting Trinia. However, you aren't completely alone. Jack and Sophia are hiding among the shadows in the throne room. Guards are positioned outside one door, ready to barge in at a moment's notice. A few minutes pass, but Trinia still hasn't showed up. Perhaps you have alarmed the culprit after all. Then, suddenly, a faint step reaches your ears. You look around the room, only to freeze when a familiar figure throws itself over you. To avoid that hack in the very last moment, avoiding getting knocked out by a firm fist. Your fist.
What in the world is going on?
Hush, Sovereign. You don't want to draw unwanted attention, do you?
I believe you are the one to be wary of unwanted attention. Guards, arrest this imposter.
Before the imposter has time to react, the guards rush in. One of them grabs the imposter's arm. No, you're arresting the wrong man.
Don't even try, I haven't moved from this side at all. Besides, my advisors have been keeping an eye on me the entire time. They know I'm the real one.
This is exactly why I told you to come alone.
So it is you, Trinia.
What if I am?
Then I have an explanation for this. Still, I would prefer if you explained yourself instead of forcing me to make assumptions.
Do what you must, I won't tell you anything.
Fine, then it is execution for you in the morning. Impersonating a sovereign and attempting to murder one are serious crimes separately, but combined. I can't let someone this dangerous go, especially not when you show no remorse.
I accept my fate.
Very well. Guards, take her away and prepare for her execution at dawn.
Yes, my liege.
That was pretty unexpected. I'm glad you didn't move, or this could have ended quite differently. It was hard enough seeing who you were, with you basically standing still and with Trinia confessing.
Why would she do such a thing? She was employed here, provided good salary and security. Why would she turn against Swordlake?
I suspect the salary wasn't good enough for her in terms of greed. She lied when she told me she didn't have enough to buy new clothes. She must have dressed raggedly to gain sympathy. I'm only speculating, but it seemed like she wanted to replace me, either permanently or temporarily, to gain access to wealth. Maybe she wanted power as well. Maybe it's hard to tell when she refuses to say anything.
I hope she will return to her usual appearance soon. What would the people think if we executed someone who looks like Swordlake?
I'm pretty sure she'll look like herself before dawn. After all, I think I know how she managed this in the first place. You mean she was the one who stole my hairbrush and she used the hair on it for some sort of spell? Almost. I'd say she put it in some sort of potion, one that required quite a while to brew, hence the long time between the theft and attack. Maybe we could have avoided this if we had actually confirmed that the hairbrush had been stolen. Oh well, there's no reason to dwell on it, everything is well and good now.
Yes, let us forget about it for now and go back to bed. We have an execution in the morrow after all. And there we had a prime example of what could have happened maybe if we had managed to find a hairbrush. Thus saying how very differently things could have played out if we were to play the same event again. When dawn arrives, Trinia is put before the public for her execution. She proudly admits to her deeds and faces the punishment with her head held high. As Trinia's life leaves her body, the townsfolk whisper about how relieved they are that the sovereign is safe. Things could have ended quite differently had the sovereign been replaced, they said. They may not be overjoyed or think better for you for surviving. Better of you. Yet you take their words to heart and treasure them. In this situation, when you are happy to be alive, it is only a relief that your people share your sentiment. With that, execution is over and the ordeal with Trinia is in the past, although you make sure to keep a closer eye on your possessions from now on. Well, we caught her, but maybe not as quickly as we could have. Well, it looks like we can build quite a few things now. Maybe we should get the infirmary. And now we have the physician, Edmund Alec. So hopefully the townsfolk won't die as easily now. Hopefully, although we've already lost people, so...
We have?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They died very early in the tournament.
Oh yeah, early summer. Forgot about that.
Oscar had basically just moved in and then he got eaten by dwarves. Let's see what's gonna happen now.
Evening, kiddo. Anything fun going on? Not really. It's been a slow month and an even slower day. Although I shouldn't be complaining, since the opposite could mean a disaster for the town. Shouldn't be thinking about such grim topics when everything's fine and well. You know what? You need to get out a bit. And I know just where to take you. I'm not sure I like this. I haven't even told you yet. You see, I was just down at the Winter Mist Inn. It just so happens that they're having a game night down there. Game night? as in playing cards. For money. I'm not sure that people want to see their ruler play games for pot that they could win instead. Oh come on, don't be a spoiled sport. I bet the townsfolk would love to see the sovereign let loose for once. It's only some small stakes card games anyway. I don't even know if I can compete. I haven't played cards in years and never for stakes. I'll give you the rundown once we get there. Although you don't even have to compete if you don't want to. You could sponsor a player instead. Sponsor? As in bet on them to win. There's no point in me trying to explain it here. Let's go down to the inn.
A night of fun at the inn. You have never seen the Winter Mist Inn quite this lively before. When you glance around, you see so many familiar faces, you get a feeling that the entire town is here. There are also a few travelers present, brought out of their rooms for the night to join in the merriment taking place in the main room. The mood is so high you can't help but feel excited. Even though it's been a long time since you played cards, you have an urge to try, or at the very least watch someone play.
Would you look at that? You're all smiles already and you haven't even touched a card. Tell me how to play and I'll consider joining. It's really easy. Everyone gets 5 cards, keep their cards hidden and bet on if they have the best hand or not. They can either bet or fold each round until 5 rounds have passed. The one with the highest cards at that point wins the money everyone bet. What's considered a good hand? The 5 highest cards in the same set, or 4 of the same kind, or 3 of the same kind and a pair. Basically, if you see a bunch of high cards or cards of the same kind, it's likely a good hand. I think I get it. Although I'm not sure if I'm ready to play. You said something about sponsoring someone? It's called sponsoring, even though it's just betting on who you think will win before a game starts. You can't bet once the game has started, since you'd be able to look at their cards as an onlooker, and that's not part of any sort of fair play. The good thing about sponsoring is that you can earn money by doing nothing. Naturally, you could lose money just as easily. It all depends on how good the player you sponsor is. Rule of thumb is that the better they are at hiding how good or bad their cards are, the better a player they are. So you want to sponsor a sneaky fellow. There are a lot of familiar faces here tonight. I bet you could name anyone in town and we'll find them at the table eventually. So what do you say? Do you want to try the game yourself or sponsor someone? I'll go a bit deeper into the rules if you want to play.
Let's randomize it. Number 1, we will play. Even though you're not that confident in your abilities, this seems like too much fun to miss out on.
I'll play some myself. That's what I wanted to hear, kiddo. Never back away from a challenge. Wait here, I'll find a table for you. I'll give you a more detailed explanation of the rules soon.
Eventually, Sophia finds a table for you. As you are about to grab a seat, Sophia stops you.
Rules first, kiddo,
she says.
The game is 5 rounds long. Each round you either have to bet or drop out, or fold as it's called. Each bet has to be at least 5 coins. If any player wants to, they can increase the bet with 5. That's the rules used with beginners like you. Everyone has to match that or bet higher every time from then on. If you fold, you obviously don't win any money, but you don't have to bet anymore if you can't afford it. The sum that everyone bets is won by the remaining player if everyone else folds. Or the player with the best hand wins at the end. That's about it, you're good to go, kiddo.
Sophia pauses before adding.
If you have at least 25 coins, that is.
You show Sophia that you have the required minimum amount. Yeah, we have a lot more than that. Satisfied, she finally lets you sit down at the table. The cards are dealt. It's 3 of a kind, 3 queens, and 2 singles, a 2 and a 9. Given what Sophia said earlier, it's a decent one, although you're not sure it is good enough to make you win without some daring moves. Everyone around the table looks at you. You realize you're the first to bet. The rules give you 3 options. Give up by folding and don't spend more money, bet the standard 5 or bet 10. If you bet, you will have to bet the same amount or higher later, or you will be forced to fold. I guess we just randomize it again.
Funny if we just fold right away.
Yeah, we fold right
away.
This was too much pressure, couldn't take it. As you go through each possible scenario in your head, it becomes more and more clear that you'll lose more money than you're willing to if you keep going, therefore you fold. Sophia and several others sigh as you put your cards down. You watch the game wrap up. The winner is an elderly lady who happily grabs the pot in the end.
That's enough fun for one night. I won't allow you to play anymore even if you can after falling at such a bad time.
Sophia says as you leave the table.
Let's head back home.
You don't agree with Sophia's judgment of your playstyle, but you don't object. After bidding your opponents farewell, you follow Sophia back to your estate. Wow, that went swimmingly.
Yeah.
Well, at least we earn quite a bit of gold now, monthly. 300 gold.
Have a lot of food too.
Yeah. We are able to build a few buildings if we want to. 10,000 food, that goes quite a long way. Now we can build even more buildings. Although not that many, like 2 more buildings or something.
Yeah, what to build?
I don't know. I think it would be fun to replace the Avaldry's shrine though. Kick out Dawn.
She doesn't like us anyway.
Yeah, she likes us the least.
Yeah, sure.
So now Dawn moved out, or got kicked out, and the Voidist Priestess Yules moved in instead. And we got 2 achievements from it. Wow. And Yules likes us, how nice. Oh, but Faye kind of likes us too, somehow. Oh, she's probably Voidist.
Yeah, she is.
And a lot of people to hang out. Have we hung out with Cecil?
Yes.
Oh. Tonight there are a lot of people in the throne room. They are here for one of the many parties that you are obligated to host as sovereign. You have chatted with a lot of people tonight, but there are even more whom you haven't had a word with. Most of the guests are local nobles or wealthy and influential traders, but there are a few diplomats from foreign places as well. Everyone is here for different reasons, but at the same time very similar ones. They want contact with you, but also each other. So far, chatting has been casual, but you expect there to be some requests soon. After all, it's a lot more common for these types of guests to offer suggestions or ask for favors during parties than at audiences. Your suspicions are proven correct when the first petitioner heads up to you. Good evening, my liege. What a wonderful night this is, all thanks to you, of course.
You humble me, sir.
I have always thought it is a shame that not more people come to visit our lovely town. I would like to host many of my friends from Freykeep, giving them a tour of the most beautiful place in northern Strana, but I find it very difficult to do so.
How come?
Because of the roads, of course. For all of Mistwinter Bay's beauty and conveniences, we really do have some of the worst roads on the continent. Every time I go somewhere, I fear that my carriage will break. I do, of course, hope that these awful roads will be addressed somehow.
It will be possible to even them out, even pave a few of them if it's really necessary.
Then we share a mind, Sovereign, because those are my thoughts as well. As it happens, I have already made thorough calculations on the costs, materials and work hours. According to my estimates, a mere 150 gold is enough to fix all of Mistwinter Bay's bad roads. I believe there is no need to tell you that I, my friends and even the Empress would appreciate better roads. All locals as well, of course. well, no need to randomize that.
No roads. I'm sorry, but there are much more important things to spend money on than roads. They work as they are now.
Working does not equate to good.
But it's good enough, and that's all that matters in these times.
I disagree. A lot of people share my sentiment, that I am sure of.
Be that as it may, we still have better things to spend gold on.
I implore you to say that again when your carriage is the one breaking down due to poorly maintained roads. Good evening, Sovereign. I'm not bothering you, I hope.
Don't worry, I have time to spare. Can I help you with something?
You most certainly can, that's why I'm here. I work for the Meblian President. She sent me with a request for a specific trade deal. As you probably know, Meblia is a bountiful land. As it happens, our harvests have been particularly good lately and we have an abundance of food. We can procure you with 300 food per month if you wish.
I assume this isn't a generous gift.
We wouldn't be particularly good traders if we offered that much food for free. No, the president has requested 75 gold in return, I'm pretty sure he said. I guess we'll we'll randomize that. I'm unsure if it said 3 or 1 first. Let's randomize it again. It's 1.
Oh, that's a bad deal.
Yeah.
We don't need food. 75 gold per month is a lot, but we have enough and are in need of food, so I don't see why I should turn this offer down.
Then I will have a talk with your primary advisor and get everything sorted in the morning. Believe me when I say that you will benefit from this deal, not only because of the resources themselves, but because both the president and I are very pleased.
I do believe that, otherwise I wouldn't have agreed to it.
Haha, that's very true. Well then, I shouldn't be taking up more of your time now. I'm sure that there are plenty more people who want to have a word with you. Have a good evening, Sovereign, and thank you for hosting this party. Am I supposed to pick this one too?
Yeah.
There you are, Sovereign. Free as well. What perfect timing. First of all, allow me to thank you for hosting such a wonderful party.
Thank you, I'm happy to hear it.
I also want to praise you for running Mistwinter Bay so well. There's no doubt that this is one of the most impressive towns in the region, in all of Ruminous actually. My fellow Ithalians agree. As a matter of fact, we are so fond of Mistwinter Bay that many of us want to move here.
Really? That's a surprise. How many?
About 200 if my lists are correct.
That's quite a lot.
I know, which is why I have quite a bit of pressure on me representing all of them and the Semi-Ori now. We don't really have anything to offer in return for a permission to settle here, but I promise that we will contribute to everything we can to the best of our abilities. Do you think Mistwinter Bay will be able to accommodate us? I'm pretty sure it said 1.
We have the room and resources to accommodate you, so I don't see why we shouldn't allow you to move here. The more the merrier.
Thank you so much, Sovereign. I'm sure everyone will get thrilled when they hear about it, especially Area. I will contact everyone on my list and confirm that they are ready to make the move. You can expect us to show up here very soon.
I very much look forward to it.
I'm so excited now, I'll have a hard time keeping still. I have to go dance. Thank you again, Sovereign. Evening, Sovereign. I'm not bothering you, I hope.
Not at all, I just became unoccupied, as you can see. Is there anything I can help you with?
There is, actually. As you can probably tell, I'm an Utrian sailor. I'm here to speak both for an Utrian trading company and the king himself. That's quite an honor, honestly.
It most definitely is. I'm also honored to have an envoy of the Utrian king here tonight.
No need to flatter me, Sovereign. I'm really just a sailor who happened to swim by these parts, so the king sent me on this mission. Anyway, as you probably know, Utria doesn't have a lot of trees, but we use a lot of wood. We're always looking for new sources and try our best to form trade deals that provide us with some. But something that we do have is stone. So my offer for you is to trade a monthly amount of wood in exchange for an equal amount of stone. It's a one-to-one trade really. There's no other offer like that out there to my knowledge. How does it sound? Are you interested?
Oh, it could be good.
Let's randomize it. It says 3. No, no resources.
Damn it. I'm sorry, but we need what little wood we have for ourselves. Our production isn't high enough to warrant giving up any amount of it.
The king will be disappointed to hear that. It's a reasonable decision though, I can't fault you for that.
Thank you for being so understanding.
Well, that was really all I had to say. I'm sure there are more experienced and fancy people wanting to have a chat with you, so I will leave you be now. Good night. Am I supposed to take this one too? There you are, Sovereign. It feels like you have been busy all evening.
You have been looking for me?
Waiting for you, rather. I have seen you standing here, chatting away for quite some time now. I happen to have a request of my own, or an offer, rather.
Let's hear it.
There is a field south of town that is currently owned by the town itself. The field is used as a pasture for cattle and sheep. It is not fertile enough for farming, after all.
I know which field you're talking about. The question is why you have an interest in it.
As it happens, this particular field, with its size and shape, is perfect for keeping horses. More specifically, a luxury horse range.
What's the difference between a luxury horse range and a regular one?
Only the finest people are allowed at the luxury one, of course. I wish to purchase the land so that I can build a horse range of my dreams to entertain me and my friends. Give me a reasonable offer and I will pay it. Let's randomize it. 1.
I can sell you the land in the proper public way for 200 gold. That's what it's worth.
Then I will take it. There will probably be some people complaining about this transaction, but do not mind them, they have no idea what they're talking about anyway. I will talk to good old Jack tomorrow to get the paperwork signed. You do not need to worry your pretty head about it anymore, Sovereign. Thank you for listening, have a good night. You feel a lot of eyes on you after that final interaction, but you ignore the curious looks. It's time to end the party now anyway, as is evident by the greatly decreased number of people in the throne room. Most of the guests have retired for the evening.
Alright everyone, I believe that will be enough for me tonight. You are of course welcome to stay up as long as you please, but there are guest rooms prepared for those who wish to retire for the night. I hope that everyone had a good time and I hope to see you at the next party.
Well, I'm pretty sure we missed out on like the good deals and only got the bad ones. Only got more food. Losing your precious gold.
75 gold a month.
Yeah, at least we have high food production. Building a guard tower.
Yeah.
Got the guard tower captain, Doug.
Best character.
Or Doe, as his name is spelled. Does everyone hate us so much they don't even want hangouts anymore?
Because they're lower class and they got mad.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't very happy with us. Yeah, now that we have the guard tower, we have the ability to raise the guard presence, which means that the risk of getting very bad crime-related events decreases. And we can also use the guards for some personal quests and things like that, and some main events as well.
Yeah.
So having guards is pretty useful. But also there are 3 stages of 3 levels of guards. So it's low that you start out with, and now that we built the guard tower we can increase it to medium as a maximum. But then there is high as well. And each level presents their own kind of issues. So even though some crime-related events won't show up if you have high guard presence, there are other crime-related events or corruption-related events that will appear instead. Sovereign, there is an issue that has just come to our attention.
A non-urgent one, it sounds like.
Yes and no. It's no life or death situation, but if left as it is, it will likely impact the town in a negative way. The thing is that a lot of swans and geese have landed on one of the largest wheat fields. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. There are hundreds of them. Them walking around on the wheat is bad enough, but to make matters worse, they eat it. If left unattended, they might ruin the field completely, making it impossible to grow more Mistwinter wheat on it.
That could indeed be a problem.
With so many birds, attacking them directly would be a bad idea, even for us guards. If nothing else, a direct battle risks ruining the field even more with us trampling it. For the same reason, having us there to scare them off is also a bad idea. Our equipment will ruin the ground. After some discussions, us guards have come up with 2 solutions. You could send someone who has enough patience and stamina to chase the birds away on their own. Or you could have someone make and place traps on the field at night when the birds are asleep. When they wake up, the traps kill those that walk into them. The rest will hopefully be too scared to stay. But you are the sovereign, so if you have another option, that's viable too. We'll randomize. Number 3.
It just never goes well. I think you're giving this issue too much attention. They're just birds on their way across mainland Ruminous. They won't stay for much longer. Even if they do, how much damage could they possibly cause? Like I said, they're just birds.
Sure, but there are a lot of them.
They're still just birds, harmless creatures.
If you say so, I won't argue.
Then you may inform your colleagues on my decision and return to your post.
As you wish, my liege. Swordlake, I heard you talked to a guard about the swans and geese the other week, is that correct?
It is. He told me they were stomping around and eating wheat on a field.
That they certainly did, right up until yesterday afternoon.
Surely you aren't telling me that they stayed for a whole week.
Unfortunately, they did.
Is the field okay?
I just came back after taking a look at it myself and, well, let us say there will be no harvest there for the next few years.
Is it that bad?
Birds like these are harmless in small numbers, especially on fields without crops, and if they only stay for a short period of time. In this case, none of those requirements applied, leaving the field completely ruined. This will unfortunately affect Mistwinter Bay's food production, as you can surely imagine, given the size and importance on the field.
I really didn't think it would get that bad.
It did, and it is too late to do anything about it now. The farmer who owns the field can only tend to it in hopes of the soil recovering one day. That was the full report. I have nothing else to add.
Stupid birds.
Yeah, stupid birds, stupid number generator, just giving us the bad options. Well, at least we traded food production
Yes,
with
evens out in the end. Pretty sure we can't build anything, so...
Yeah. You're walking around in the throne room, waiting for the day's petitioners to arrive for an audience. The morning is still early, so besides you and the standard guards, there's no one else here. The petitions have been fairly simple recently, so you fear that things will pick up significantly today. That's usually how audiences work. After a period of slow, simple ones, there tend to be much more complex ones with more demands. You stop in your tracks, barely able to stand, when the ground suddenly starts shaking violently.
What's going on?
There's an earthquake! Quick, get down! The guard grabs you, shielding you from any potential falling objects as both of you lie down on the floor. The ground keeps shaking for a few more moments, then finally the throne room is still again. Your legs feel weak when you and the guard stand up again. After all that shaking, you expect to see the throne room in ruins, but it is unharmed. Then again, it is part of the most sturdy and secure building in all of Mistwinter Bay, so it isn't particularly surprising. Are you alright, Sovereign?
Yes, thank you. That was some severe shaking. We're lucky to be here in this state. But I fear that things aren't as good out in the town. You should bring as many guards as you can and check up on people.
Is that really a good idea? I should be here to protect you if there is an aftershock.
I will be fine. Besides, the odds of an aftershock are so small that it's practically impossible. Regular earthquakes are rare enough on their own. Go out there and help the townsfolk.
As you wish, my liege. The guard gathers his colleagues. Besides two of them who are left to guard you, all of the guards head out. You expect Jack, Sophia and servants to come running soon. Before they arrive, you want to take a peek out the window and see if there is any visual damage. So you walk up to the nearest window and look out. You almost don't know what to think when you see a cloud of dust and dirt covering certain streets. Between the clouds you spot ruins of what were once perfectly normal buildings. Now some are shells, others only rubble. There are people on the streets too, more and more as time passes. Some are dusty and dirty from being in or near collapsing buildings, while some are completely clean. It isn't until you start spotting people stained with blood that you realize that things are very serious. A moment later, lifeless bodies are getting pulled out from under the rubble.
Jack, Sophia.
You shout.
Hurry over here, we need to get a crisis operation going.
Another great event. In the evening 2 days later, you sit down on the throne, exhausted, with Jack and Sophia leaning against the walls on either side, equally tired.
Finally, everything has been sorted. All collapsed buildings have been searched, everyone in town is accounted for one way or another.
To think that our sturdy, proper buildings could cause so many deaths.
Do we have the final report?
Yes, unfortunately. 103 people have passed away due to the earthquake.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, statistics of the dead are not the only depressing news we need to deal with.
That's right, there are several buildings that need to be repaired or even replaced. That will cost a bit. I thought we had put an emergency fund up for things like this, natural disasters, I mean. Sure, but that doesn't cover even close to all the damages. We'll use the fund as far as we get, of course, but we will need to take some of the regular resources too. With everything taken into account, the repair should cost 200 gold, 10 wood and 10 stone.
Let's randomize to see if we'll pay for it. We will not pay anything.
Well, we're talking about private property. It's the owner's responsibility to pay for any repairs, not the government's. So I say we don't pay anything. Well, maybe they should have had insurance. Why should I pay? Are you sure? Because even though you're right, people probably won't agree with you. That's usually the case with natural disasters.
People do tend to expect support from the government in those situations.
Be that as it may, I won't spend any resources on it. We simply can't afford it. If you say so.
Just keep in mind that people would most likely be upset with you for this.
Yamileth is gonna come for all our wishes. They can think whatever they want. My decision still stands. Now let's go to sleep. I'm exhausted.
Let's see if someone is gonna be mad at us. Someone is mad at us. Am I supposed to read her stuff?
Yeah, because I still have to be Swordlake.
Sovereign, I would like a word with you.
I'm a little busy. Can it wait?
No, it cannot.
Fine. What do you want?
I think you're pathetic and I want to fight you.
Excuse me?
You heard me. You're a pathetic excuse for a leader, and frankly, I have little respect for you. I have been bowing my head down for a long time simply because I know you are my superior, but I have reached my limit. Every decision you make seems to impact my life negatively. Perhaps you simply favor low-life plebs over actual nobility.
I think they hate us just as much, honestly.
I mean, the one who likes us the most is Faye.
And it's minus 15. You do realize you're openly insulting me right now.
I couldn't care less.
I have no wish to fight you.
Because you're scared of losing.
That's not it.
Then fight me, coward. It's the only way you could ever win back my respect.
And if I choose not to fight?
I'll leave and never look back at your stupid town. What's it going to be? Well, let's randomize. It says 2. We will not fight her.
Refuse. I'm afraid I must decline your offer.
You're proving my point of how pathetic you are. Let's see how your people feel about the dean leaving the university without warning. The school will crumble.
We don't have... Oh, wait. No. Edmund is also a noble.
Except he isn't. He is, but he isn't.
Yeah, I didn't care. There's no... Oh, there's MG.
Yeah.
It's a fate I'm willing to accept.
Very well then. I shall take my leave.
Good riddance.
Yamileth walks away from you for the last time. Considering her personality, there's absolutely no way she didn't mean every word she said. She's leaving Mistwinter Bay for good. And we got an achievement! And now that she moved out, there were characters who were upset.
Yeah, Moira.
She is not
And if she moves out, no one's gonna gain.
Yeah. Or wait, you're looking at the wrong thing. It's if other people have opinions of her.
Yeah, no one cares. Okay. That's good.
Wow, we can build so many things. It might be worth building something that increases like reputation with some class at least.
Yeah. Because the thing is, we don't want MG to be mad at us. Because she's scary. She can get mad, that's fine. feel like Ulvar is also scary.
Well, or I guess it depends on what the RNG does.
Yeah, you can't be sure of anything.
Well, worst case scenario, you just have to reload it, so it's not that. What does building the park do? It just increases the nobility. At least it doesn't decrease it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So maybe we'll go for that.
We can't.
Well, doesn't that suck? But I mean, can't we trade some gold for stone too?
No, that would be too expensive. Then we can't afford the gold part.
Well, that sucks. Randomizing everything is making things quite tricky. Well, I mean, the theater just increases reputation. It doesn't decrease anyone's reputation, so it didn't cost any stone. So. Now we have Neferu, someone who doesn't hate us.
Yet. There's
Still have time.
There's time.
Nothing too bad now, please. Another night, another visit to the Winter Mist Inn. He's as lively as usual, which makes the absence of the innkeeper all the more noticeable. You begin to think that Cecil isn't around until you spot him talking to a very familiar someone further down the room. Even though the room is buzzing, you decide to listen in from a distance. Yeah, this is one of the
new meetup events.
New meetup events that we added in the latest update.
Come on, Cecil, there's no need to give me that look. You know I'm right.
Being right doesn't make you less annoying, the opposite actually. But have you considered that being right in a logical sense doesn't make you right in a moral sense?
How can I be wrong in a moral way?
Because you keep disregarding my view of the whole thing. You don't even seem to think about how much extra work it would mean for me to host more events at the inn. I don't care if more events make the inn 10 times more profitable if it means I have to work more. If anything, I want to work less.
If it's that big of a deal, why do you host any events at all?
I don't mind the events in themselves, I never have. As you said, they're good for business, so I do encourage them. The events I have hosted so far haven't been hosted by me though. I let other people arrange things and I just let them use the inn as a venue. It's a win-win situation. What you're proposing makes it sound like I, personally, should host more events. That's what I'm against.
I didn't even realize that's the way I came off. My apologies, Cecil. I've been dealing with so much high-level diplomacy lately that it seems like my conversational skills with the regular people have gotten rusty. What I was trying to do all along was propose a collaboration between town officials and the inn in order to host more events. It would basically be the same setup as you have now, with someone else handling the organization and the inn being the venue. You wouldn't have to do much other than show the organizers around and have refreshments ready. That is the main reason people visit the inn after all.
Now you're sounding a lot more reasonable. I don't mind that setup at all. Like I said, more business for the inn is a good thing, especially if I don't have to do much.
I'm glad to hear it.
I assume this is something we need to bring up to the Sovereign.
Most definitely. Lucky for us, the Sovereign happens to be here right now. Swordlake, do you mind coming over here for a moment? There is something Cecil and I would like to discuss with you. Good evening, you two. I can't say I'm surprised to hear the two of you discussing business. Considering all the effort you put into making Mistwinter Bay a good and lively town to live in, MG, I figured you would check up on Cecil from time to time. You are as astute as always, Swordlake. That is exactly how it is.
Lady Fava swings by 2 or 3 times a week to check up on things, even if I'm not around. She knows that this is the place to be if you want to hear gossip or see how content people are. She does of course try to make the inn more popular and profitable in the process, but I think this is the first time she has had an idea that doesn't mean I have to work my butt off.
I did hear something about hosting events at the inn. There's no doubt that the inn gets a lot of visitors, locals and travelers alike, when there is some sort of event. Of course, the type of patrons who show up is based on the type of event. Locals are more likely to show up to card game nights, while travelers tend to show up for rare performances by famous minstrels and so on. But regardless of the type of patrons or the type of event, the inn becomes much more profitable on nights when something special is happening. So I was thinking that we should make events more common. As you may have overheard, Cecil isn't too keen on putting in extra work for events. I, on the other hand, don't mind that at all. Unfortunately, I have little time to spare to handle things like this, and I am swamped with work as well. But if you make organizing events at the inn part of the responsibility for everyone at the town hall, myself included, we can host something at least once a week. Our salaries would remain the same, which means that there would be no extra expenses. But the inn would earn more money per month, probably as much as 25 gold. While that sounds good in theory, I assume it will still be demanding work. You and the other staff at the town hall would have to take time away from collecting taxes, settling legal disputes and so on. I bet the people wouldn't like that.
I didn't even consider consequences like that. I know that most people, regular people, not nobles, wouldn't like it, but I have nothing against it.
I would be surprised if you did. I will admit that organizing events would take time away from our other responsibilities, and the common folk definitely won't like that. But I know that we can handle the extra pressure, and I'm sure the common folk will come around after a few events. So what do you think, Swordlake? Will you allow me and the others at the town hall to start organizing events at the inn?
Let's see. Number 3. Cecil organize events.
Are you kidding me?
It's his inn. He should do it.
I do see the financial benefits of hosting more events. What I don't see is why the town hall or any government officials would have anything to do with it. The events only benefit the inn. While the government does collect a part of the profits, there is nothing justifying why any government official would have to put in time and effort to increase one building's profits, when there is an owner who can do that work instead. The town would benefit it in multiple ways though. There would be more travelers, which would increase profits all around town, and the general well-being of the people would improve. That still isn't enough to justify you doing it when Cecil can do it instead.
So you think I should organize more events, even though this was Lady Fava's idea from the start?
Yes.
How very considerate of you. I hope I don't have to remind you that I don't want to put in more work. I'm fine with the way things are, but I wouldn't have turned down extra profit if Lady Favas or someone else wanted to hold events here. I never signed up for any additional work.
Come now, Cecil, it wouldn't be nearly as bad as you make it out to be. You're already in charge of the inn, so you know it better than anyone else. Organizing any sort of event here would be a breeze for you.
There's a lot more work that goes into hosting events than just having the place ready. I'm fine with putting things in order before and after an event, but I don't want anything to do with the organization. That's what you're trying to push onto me now. I would appreciate if you take your words back, Sovereign. What extra profit the inn would make wouldn't be worth the work effort. Let's see if we make him mad. Number 2. Let Cecil do what he wants.
Okay. I'm sorry, Cecil, it isn't right to ask you to do this when it was MG's idea all along. It's a completely different thing to accept help from others offering to work for you and to force yourself to work. You're free to continue to run the inn however you want.
Thank you, that's all I wanted. Then I will use my freedom to declare that I won't host any additional events on my own. I will keep accommodating those who want to organize something on their own, but I won't organize anything, and that's that. If either of you want a drink, you can catch me at the bar.
So there won't be any additional events? Not if you don't want to use your spare time for it. It's a no then. Oh well, that isn't the end of the world. At least no one gets upset or overworked by this option, and that's really all that matters in the end. Well said. I suppose I'm done here for now. I should head back home. Good night, Swordlake. Good night, MG.
Well, we got an achievement because that was a meetup where 2 townspeople who have opinions of each other show up.
And here comes someone else.
There's a surprisingly short line for the day's audience. The atmosphere in the room tells you that it's going to be a fairly unproblematic event with mostly yes or no answers. Or rather, that's what you thought before Kieran walks up to you. Good morning, Sovereign. I come with a health concern regarding one of my neighbors.
Which neighbor?
Moira Fleming. Ever since she moved in, she has come off as a pretty melancholic person. Lately, the sadness that surrounds her has gotten even more potent.
Do you suspect that she's going to hurt herself somehow?
No, nothing like that, thankfully. I think that she's overworked. She has been working at the tailor shop around the clock for a long time now in order to complete requests for people who have you have recommended her to. Since she suffers from stomach pains and back pains, I can only imagine that working so much makes her condition worse. When her body is suffering, her mood naturally decreases.
What do you expect me to do about it? I can't exactly cancel her commissions.
I understand that, and I'm not suggesting anything of the sort. I would assume that a raised salary would do her good. If nothing else, it would make her afford good medical treatment and maybe a housemaid to take care of her chores. If that isn't a viable option, perhaps it would be a good idea to give some extra resources to the tailor shop. If all the fabrics and the like are provided for her, she will at least be able to avoid keeping stock of those things. Perhaps she could even afford a few extra hands to catch up. I really hope you will help her, Sovereign. She's a good woman who deserves to be treated well.
Well, it's 2 out of 3 that we do something bad.
Let's see. Number 3.
No! No!
Now he will get mad at us too.
I'm not going to help her because there's no reason to. She put herself in this situation, so she has to get herself out of it. I don't appreciate you bringing this sort of nonsense to my attention. You're wasting my time and your own for that matter. If you ever come to me with such idiotic requests again, I will have to punish you for it. And if any future requests are on Moira's behalf, you can expect the punishment to be quite severe.
Is this really how you want to run this town?
No. But this is what happens. Don't question my decisions.
Alright, Sovereign, you can have it your way. Just don't be surprised if neither Moira nor I greet you with smiles for a while. If I were you, I wouldn't be surprised if the tailor shop's production goes down either. Moira will definitely get burned out now.
Well, you aren't me, so you can't even pretend to understand how I reason.
You're right, of course, and that's a good thing, isn't it?
Did you just insult me, you insolent jerk? Ugh, whatever. Just bring the next person forward.
That went great.
Where is he?
Well, he isn't that mad at least. She is very mad. How can everyone hate us so much?
Well, we haven't done like a single good thing the entire time.
We just keep saying, screw this, I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
And when we do something, it's something bad. Yeah, it's because this, some sort of production went down somewhere.
So this. Nope.
What have you got there, Swordlake?
It's just an old notebook from my time studying.
This is a good event, but I don't want to read it out loud.
Should we just skip it then?
Yeah, we can make the executive decision to not study the history, because like Jack will say, it is a lot of reading.
I found it when I was going through things in my quarters just now. I don't have any use for it though, so I'll just throw it away.
I will not stop you from deciding what things you find value in and feel deserve a space in your home. However, it would be a shame not to use it one last time, would it not?
Use it how?
For studying purposes, of course. I am well aware that all of your studying in Freykeep has made you much knowledgeable about anything relating to Mistwinter Bay's history than I am.
Much more.
Much more. Still, our minds forget even the most important things eventually if we do not keep reminding it of them. As Sovereign, it would be a shame for you to forget even the slightest bit of your town's past. So how about I put together a verbal test based on that notebook? Then you can read it through, it would be a lot of reading, I suspect, and answer the test to the best of your abilities. It would not be a complicated test, only a few multiple choice questions. If you do well enough, I will give you some coins for it.
Are you trying to bribe me?
I'm simply trying to encourage you. Of course, I completely understand if you have no desire to spend your afternoon reading through a notebook. You should do as you please. we can randomize between the final two ones. We will not take the test because it's too much reading. Do not take the test and ask for money.
I'm not interested in taking any test, but if you have money to hand out, I'll happily accept some of that.
I am not sure that I want to accommodate such a greedy request. I believe you have enough pocket money already, much more than I do at any rate.
Probably yes. Right, sorry.
Apologies accepted. Since there will be no test, I will tend to more pressing matters. I will see you later. And no one was mad at us.
Wow.
You really can't decide, huh?
Well, I kinda want the brothel, but MG is scary.
You can just give her a gift if she's that scary. You can give her the most expensive gift.
That's cheap.
We aren't playing on a permanent save file, you know.
Yeah, there's a wall and stuff too.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be working.
You're going through today's letters and are surprised to find one from Freykeep. However, it isn't sent from the court, but a research office at Freykeep Royal University. With your curiosity piqued, you decide to handle this letter before the rest. To the Venerable Sovereign Swordlake Entertainment of Mistwinter Bay. I am currently on a tour across the Empire to promote my newest book, Myths, Mythology and the Truth Behind It, a look into Romanian creatures, mythological beings and legendary objects. The purpose of the book and the tour in particular is to educate the public, especially those who cannot read the book themselves or cannot afford to buy it, about the various often dangerous non-natural creatures that Ruminants may see. Since I will be in the northern region of Strana, I thought I should swing by Mistwinter Bay and educate the locals. You are of course welcome to attend the lecture as well. If that is the case, I would gladly host the lecture at your estate for a one-time fee of 75 gold, ensuring that you and one person of your choice get seats. Why do you have to pay to host a lecture, you may wonder? It is simply because my lectures are meant for the public and I have to put up some sort of break to prevent the nobility from taking all the seats. I'm sure you understand. Of course, if you are not interested in attending, I will host the lecture at the venue I had originally planned for. Naturally, there will be no seat for you there. Please inform me about your attendance as soon as possible. Lady Rowena Talamorn. You put the paper down, slightly confused about receiving a letter from such a well-respected and famous professor and scientist. There are few celebrities in Ruminants, but Lady Rowena Talamorn can be considered one of them. No one else has done as much to educate the common folk on the dangers of the void, and that's far from all the knowledge she has shared. Unlike a lot of professors, Rowena doesn't mind traveling and educating others in person. Likewise, she doesn't mind going to all corners of Ruminants to partake in new research on topics related to myths, mythology, magic, and the supernatural. You aren't surprised that Rowena wants to visit Mistwinter Bay, but you are surprised by the fact that she offers you to attend the lecture with someone of your choice. It will cost you, or the town rather, but it might be worth it. She doesn't seem to be out on tour that often after all. Then again, 75 gold is a lot. That's a part of full building, and you're unsure if attending the lecture will be worth that. Guess we'll see. Number 1. Pay to host the lecture. Expensive as it is, you feel that the price is worth it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity after all. You will make sure that the gold is transported to Rowena's residence in Freykeep along with a written response from you. The day of the lecture has arrived. You have ensured that the estate is in pristine shape so as to not disappoint Rowena or all of her admirers. Considering how excited you have come to be over the lecture, you are almost ready to count yourself among the admirers. You smile widely when the guards let in an elegant and intelligent-looking woman. Well, if it isn't the one and only Sovereign Swordlake Entertainment, a pleasure to see you.
Likewise, Lady Tallermorn. Welcome to Mistwinter Bay.
Please call me Rowena. Do I have the honor of using your first name in return, Sovereign?
No. Please be my guest.
I am delighted to be here. Mistwinter Bay is a marvelous town, so full of history and magic. Did you know that a chapter in the book I am here to discuss bases some of its information on an interview with a former resident of Mistwinter Bay?
A former resident?
Yes, the old graveyard keeper, Tara Fossbearer. She is unfortunately no longer with us.
Neither is Erwin.
I interviewed her about Spirit Gifted for the chapter on ghosts and spirits.
That's fascinating. I'm glad someone from Mistwinter Bay could contribute to such an important piece of literature.
Mistwinter Bay is a very fascinating place when it comes to the supernatural. There seems to be a lot more magical energy here than in other places in Strana, even all of Ruminus. If I'm not mistaken, even the Iscorians have some interest in this place. Anything that catches the interest of the Darum Somak is worth investigating. I would love to one day dig a bit deeper into the history of this land, but that day is years off. Right now I'm satisfied with sharing my knowledge with the locals.
And we're very pleased to have you.
I don't have too much time before I have to get ready, but I would of course like to know if there is someone you will attend the lecture with. I did offer you 2 shares after all.
I have someone in mind.
Who?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12.
Let's see who it is. 12. Moira, our best friend Moira.
Moira. I will attend with Moira.
Let's hope that Moira will appreciate the lecture. You may have a seat and wait for Moira and the rest of the attendees. I have some preparations to do if you don't mind.
Of course, I won't bother you.
Half an hour later, the throne room is full of people eager to listen to Rowena's lecture. When Rowena heads up on the podium that the throne sits on, applause make the walls shake. Rowena gives people time to settle before she begins the lecture. You knew that the lecture was going to be long, but just how long you hadn't anticipated. For 3 hours you're seated listening to Rowena talk about each of the chapters in her newest book. But those 3 hours don't feel like 3 hours at all. When Rowena moves on to answering questions from the audience, you're shocked that it's already over. You sit in awe of both Rowena's ability to teach such important and sometimes complex topics to people from all walks of life, and her skills at answering questions without making anyone feel dumb, even though some of the questions are very stupid. When Rowena announces that the time is up, you are one of the most eager participants in the applause. That was that.
That was incredible, Rowena. Everyone just walked out of those doors. Everyone who just walked out of those doors had a smile on their face and more than enough new knowledge.
I agree.
I agree. I learned a lot. Thank you so much for inviting me, Sovereign, and thank you for being such a good teacher, Lady Tallermorn.
You are too sweet. I'm only doing my duty as one who has been blessed with a noble upbringing and an eye for magic. I hope that the 2 of you can become teachers of your own after tonight and spread some of the knowledge I shared.
I wish I could, but it's a bit difficult to learn from memory. To teach from memory. As interesting as it was, I will forget a lot of it in a few days.
Lucky you that I have a gift for you that can help jog your memory. An item! Woo!
Oh my god. A signed copy of Myths and Mythology? Thank you.
You're very welcome. And don't think I've forgotten about you, Moira. Here you get your own copy.
Thank you, Lady Tallermorn. That's very generous of you.
I thought both of you were such good students that I felt like giving you a reward. Besides, you are both quite influential here, so I figured it won't hurt to give you some help with spreading some common knowledge.
With these books, we can at least try.
That being said, I'm quite exhausted now. Mind if I retire for the night, Swordlake?
Of course not. You already have a guest room waiting for you.
Then I would retire. Good night, you two.
Good night. I should probably head off as well. Thank you for the invitation, Sovereign. It was unexpected but welcome. No problem. Good night, Mora.
A fun fact about that book we received from her on Patreon. For our paid patrons, they have an entire PDF file with all of the chapters of this book, so it's like an actual thing. And now that we have it, we can get some in-depth knowledge about creatures if we encounter them. So, for example, if we had that book when the dwarves showed up, I'm pretty sure about that at least, that we would have had unique dialogue for that, since we have read the book and know more than the general person.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. The audience is nearing its end and there is only one person left to make a petition. A fancily clad woman who you've never seen before stops at the foot of the throne. Greetings, Sovereign. I am Maria Landau, a fashionista from Freykeep. Or a tailor, I suppose one could say. I prefer to call myself fashionista or a designer, since I don't make clothes for the public, I make clothes as art. The Empress will put on a fashion show at the castle in Freykeep next week, and I am one of those who are lucky enough to exhibit my work at the event. But I have yet to find the perfect model to wear my most impressive outfits. Finding the right model is almost as important as making the clothes themselves. I have heard that there are a lot of beautiful, unique and interesting people in Mistwinter Bay, so I came here in hopes of you appointing a model to me. I know your people better than anyone else, so I'm sure you can find someone who I can borrow for the show.
Perhaps, perhaps not. It depends on who you're looking for.
I am a lot more versatile than other designers I have met. I do of course appreciate the regular standard of having a tall model. The taller they are, the more fabric to show off. So if you know someone tall, I am all for that. But I appreciate a unique appearance more than anything else.
What would you deem as a unique appearance?
I have always wanted an elemental model, but they're very hard to come by, or just someone who has something very unique in their appearance, maybe some scars, a particularly pallid face, or something else that's very unusual. I love to highlight the beauty and unique appearances, and I always do my all to respect my models' individuality and uniqueness. They aren't curiosities to me, but people, and I want to show that to others too. So if you know someone who might fit any of my criteria, feel free to tell me. I would love to have them as my model. Well, let's see if we will give her a model or not. Number 2. Assign a unique model.
It sounds like lending you someone might be pretty fun. If nothing else, it would be a new experience for them that they may appreciate. I can let you borrow someone to act as a more unique model.
Thank you so much, you're saving my image. Who is the unique model you plan on lending me? Well, I guess it's still 12 people.
12 options.
So let's see. I'm pretty sure it said 2 again.
Oh, well, look at that!
Actually, someone who works.
Wow! Engla is one of Mistwinter Bay's most unique individuals, so I'll let you take Engla with you to Freykeep. I'll tell someone to fetch Engla and you can get going right away.
Excellent! Thank you so much, Sovereign. I will not forget your kindness. Speaking of which, I shouldn't just take Engla for free. That would just be plain rude. Here, a little something as thanks. I also want to offer you to join us in Freykeep. It wouldn't be very professional of me to deny you the honor of watching Engla in action. Would you like to go to Freykeep with us and watch the show in person? I guess we'll see. 1. Yes.
Yes. It would be an honor to join you.
Great, the more the merrier. Then I suggest you get your things ready because we should leave soon. There are lots of preparations to be made in Freykeep before the show date.
Then I'll start packing right now.
Is this the first time we're going to Freykeep?
I can't remember.
After an uneventful journey, you, Engla and Maria arrive in Freykeep. You stay in the castle as a guest of Ophelia's whilst Engla stays with Maria and prepares for the show. You have plenty of time to socialize at a court you haven't visited like this in quite some time. There's even time for you to reconnect with some friends you haven't met since graduating from Freykeep Royal University. For your sake, this trip has already been worth it. Eventually, the day of the show arrives. You join friends and acquaintances in the castle's throne room. You spot both Engla and Maria when they arrive, but they pay you no heed until Engla is properly prepared for the show. Then Maria grabs a seat next to you and explains how all the preparations have gone. As you wait for the show to start, Ophelia arrives and grabs the seat at the end of the large staircase. For once, she isn't seated on the throne, but the place where she now sits is the best to enjoy the show from. The models will be walking up and down the stairs after all. Then, finally, music starts playing and models start walking down the stairs, one after another. At the end of the stairs, they stop, strike a pose, and then continue up the opposite side. The models are grouped by designer and often come back several times with new outfits. It takes quite some time before Maria's models show up. She has 4 of them and Anglia has as many costume changes as the others. More than half an hour into the show, Anglia finally shows up for the first time. Anglia strides down the stairs in a large multicolored outfit that no one would wear on the street. Like all models, Anglia stops at the end of the stairs and strikes a pose. You notice that Anglia is embarrassed by it, but no one else acknowledges that part. They do, however, notice how well Anglia wears the clothes. They seem to have been made specifically for Anglia, even though that isn't the case. Anglia manages to make the clothes look more impressive at the same time as the clothes make Anglia look more attractive, despite not being something anyone would wear on a daily basis. Anglia receives applause on the first walk and even more on all the subsequent ones. When Anglia arrives with a final, most impressive outfit, the applause make your ears ring. There's no doubt that Anglia is the most popular model of the show. You glance over at Maria, spotting a proud smile on her lips. This is undoubtedly a great advertisement for her collection and her as a designer. You turn your focus back to the show, but no model is nearly as impressive as Anglia, and you soon find yourself waiting for it to end so that you can have a chat with Anglia and Maria. Wow, we're in the throne room. The show is finally over. There's still a lot of people in the throne room, but most have already left. Those who are still here are primarily models, designers, and people wanting to give them praise. There you are, my dear. I wanted to have a word with you now that I have already chatted a bit with Miss Landau and your model. I must say, this show was very entertaining, not the least thanks to your model. I cannot recall the last time a model impressed me this much. You did well to provide Miss Landau with Anglia. I can even see Anglia with a future in fashion, given how well this show turned out. If you deem Anglia even the slightest bit superfluous to the prosperity of Mistwinter Bay, I would say it is more worth it to send Anglia here for a life in the world of fashion. That is, of course, your decision to make. I am only here to praise you for daring to allow someone so inexperienced yet perfectly fit to try out modeling.
I'm glad I could bring you some joy, Your Highness.
And I am glad to have experienced it. I will be more than pleased to have Miss Landau back for more shows. Now, please excuse me, there are more guests I would like to have a word with before everyone retires for the evening.
Of course, have a good night, Your Highness.
We found you at last, Sovereign.
Hello, you two. So, how do you think the show went?
You saw my smile and those of the rest of the audience. You know that Anglia is a great model, perfectly suited for this type of modeling and my outfits. As a matter of fact, Anglia is so good that I have already been inspired to create a new collection with Anglia as my sole model. At this rate, I think Anglia can serve as my muse forever. Which brings me to a very serious offer. Sovereign, I want Anglia to move here to Freykeep and work for me permanently. I will of course give you a little something as thanks, 500 coins in fact. How does that sound?
What do you think about that, Anglia? I would prefer to go back home to Mistwinter Bay and keep working with what I'm actually good at, but I know better than to go against your wishes if you want me to stay.
Have you made up your mind, Sovereign? Will you let Anglia become my model? Don't forget that I will give you 500 coins as thanks. As we'll see. Number 1. Goodbye, Anglia.
Bye-bye, Anglia. Minus 55. I saw how good Anglia was with my own eyes, so who would I be to deny such a good model? Anglia will have a great future as a model.
Thank you, Sovereign. You have made my entire career. Oh, and don't make me forget about your part of the deal.
It feels like I just got sold.
It's hardly that serious, Anglia. You will just be getting a change of scenery and a new profession. One that you're much better suited for than your old one, if you ask me.
It still means that I will be getting into something I don't want to get into. But who am I to argue with a sovereign and a famous designer? And Edmund is like, hell yeah, she's leaving.
You don't have to worry, Sovereign. I will take great care of Anglia. Bye now.
Goodbye and good luck.
Well, we sure get interesting choices at least.
Yeah.
Due to your actions, Anglia has left Mistwinter Bay. Well, Edmund didn't mind that at least.
I want the prison.
You wanna throw everyone in jail.
Yay!
Yay!
Now this is different.
Yeah, the background changed since we have updated our own house. So now we have the ability to imprison people if we come across criminals, or sometimes you can imprison not criminals as well. But people generally don't like that for obvious reasons. And now the text box has changed as well. You are completely alone in the throne room, finishing your work this late evening. There's a storm raging outside, but you're too busy with your work to give it much thought. You make some final notes on the last few documents before finally putting everything down. It took a while, but you're finally done. The same second you are about to leave the throne, a door leading deeper into the estate opens. You expect to see Jack or Sophia, maybe a guard or a servant, but none of them is the one approaching you. Good evening, Sovereign.
Good evening. May I ask who you are and why you're here uninvited? This is hardly the weather or time of day to visit a sovereign unless you have something important. Unless you have some important business. Jesus Christ.
You can consider this important business. Fighting boredom is crucial to maintain a healthy mind after all.
So you're here to keep me entertained?
Both of us. There isn't a lot to do when there's a storm raging outside, keeping me awake with the sound of rain against my windows.
Tell me, stranger, how do you plan to entertain us?
I want to play a game with you.
Is it a dangerous game?
Of course not. I want to ask a few riddles, that's all.
And if I answer them wrong, you'll trap my soul in a crystal or something? You'll get banished to the shadow realm?
Of course not. You'll just look stupid if you answer them wrong, not more than that. But if you answer them correctly, I might have a few coins for you. It sounds like the stranger is telling the truth, but it's almost impossible to tell with the thunder in the background and their face being concealed by shadows. You feel tempted to answer the riddles and see what happens, but it's probably safest to tell the stranger to leave. Let's see what we do. Number 2, tell them to leave. No riddles here, we're too stupid for that.
As fun as riddles sound, I think it's best that you leave.
There's no need to be so serious, it's just a few riddles you could earn money to. Money!
The answer is still no, please leave.
What a spoiled sport. You follow the stranger with your gaze, watching them disappear through the same door they entered from. It rubs you the wrong way that it is a door leading further into the estate. But the stranger has left, which is all that matters. Half an hour later, you return to the throne room to collect the documents you left behind before heading to bed. It will be a struggle to sleep with the storm going on, though.
Sophia, what are you doing here? Waiting for you, I figured you were still up. Is there something urgent going on? Nope, I'm just bored. Want to play some chess? Before I answer you, you should answer this. Do you know anything about the cloaked stranger who was here about half an hour ago? No, it sounds pretty suspicious though. If there are weird people like that walking around, you should have told the guards. So, chess? I suppose we can play a bit. It's not like I'll be able to sleep in this weather anyway. Great, let's go to my study.
Yeah, I wonder who the stranger was, huh? Swordlake, I have a letter here for you. It's from none other than Empress Ophelia.
I wonder what the Empress wants from me.
Dear Swordlake Entertainment, I would like to inform you that I am coming to visit you at the end of this month, as per our agreement at your coronation. The purpose of the visit is, of course, to confirm that things are going well, which they evidently are, since I have not felt the need to correct your way of ruling. Hopefully things will continue to go smoothly until my visit and after it as well. If not, rest assured that I will tell you about it so that you can correct your wrongdoings before it is too late. You do not need to prepare anything grand for my arrival, since I will only visit for a couple of hours. However, you would do well to keep some resources on hand. The town of Mistwinter Bay must celebrate this occasion, must it not? I will see you soon, Empress Ophelia Savarez.
So the time has finally come, huh?
What did he say?
Ophelia is coming here at the end of the next month to check up on us, like she said she would.
Oh, that is correct. Time moves so fast, I forgot it has already been 2.5 years since your coronation and the trial period of Mistwinter Bay becoming a city-state began. You have done so well so far, so very well so far.
Thank you. Ophelia seems to think so too, since she's coming here. Although her letter was a bit threatening if you read between the lines.
No need to take it personally. She sounds threatening half of the time. It is simply the way she is.
I suppose the ruler of Ruinous's largest country has to appear tough.
And Ophelia is tough. But we have nothing to worry about as long as we keep going this way.
She also wrote that it's best if I save some resources for the town. What could that mean?
I have no idea, but since she told you about it, it is wise to not bring the town resources down to 0 this month.
Well...
Or ever, for that matter, but I am sure you already knew that. Anything else I should know before her arrival?
No, I don't think so. She said there's no need for preparations.
Very well, then let us get on with the regular schedule.
Well, I guess we'll just... Oh. Why are we so rich? God damn. Oh yeah, we sold Englia.
Yeah. We got a lot of coins from that.
Ready for the Empress, kiddo? As ready as I can be.
No need to worry, everything will go swimmingly.
Either way, there's no time for nerves. She's here now. Good luck, kiddo.
The large doors to the throne room open, followed by an entourage of guards and servants. The Stranian Empress enters with her head held high. Hello, my dear. It has been a while, has it not?
It has. I'm honored to have you as my guest again.
It is but a quick visit, quick yet important. How do you think your time ruling Mistwinter Bay has gone? Let's say it's gone poorly and then she'll get mad at us. Number 2. Neither well nor poorly.
I think it's neither gone good or bad. I think it's gone really horrible.
How come?
The town is still here and doing fairly well, so that is a plus. Then again, it's not thriving as much as I would have hoped. Because maybe we keep selling our people.
Kicking them out, they die.
We could have expanded it a lot more by now. And some things have come up during my time on the throne that could have been handled differently for a better outcome.
Like
yes?
Most of it. Most likely. However, you must remember, dear, that it is very difficult to rule. Things do not always go well, even if you plan for them to. Be sure to keep that in mind. Before I give you my opinion on your governing, we have something we must do for the town of Mistwinter Bay. In order to commemorate this historic event of Mistwinter Bay's journey towards becoming a city-state, we will erect a statue in town.
We, as in you and I, or your entourage, or we as Stranians?
We as Stranians. The town should, however, provide the resources itself, which is why I asked you to save some. Any town should always have spare resources regardless.
I build a statue.
Because it is the custom to mark historic times, my dear. Now shall we discuss the details of the statue? Yes, we'll see if we'll be grumpy or agreeable. Number 2. It's unfair! You can't take our resources.
Pardon me, your majesty, but I think it's unfair of you to demand the town to pay for a statue all of a sudden. We could use those resources to expand the town instead.
I do not appreciate you going against my will, however I do appreciate you standing up for the town. Expansion and well-being is critical for any town, so a ruler should always have it as their top priority. But I will not budge, you will have a statue. I will ensure that the resources needed for the statue end up in the right hands, so that the statue will be in place at the start of next month. Although, it appears you do not have enough resources to build the statue. How very disappointing. It appears as if I will have to pay for it. This will have to be a rare case of you getting financial help from me. A strong ruler have to be able to keep themselves and their people standing on their own without the Imperial Crown's help. Now, let us move on to the fun part, shall we? Tradition has it that statues that mark such historical occasions portray something that is important to the town itself. As such, the appearance of the statue should represent something you feel is important. No one knows that town better than its sovereign, after all.
What if I can't come up with a design of my own?
I am not giving you free reins, my dear. As Empress, it is my responsibility to ensure that you pick a design that people can resonate with, not some avant-garde statement that has nothing to do with Mistwinter Bay. Therefore, I will provide you with a list of designs that have been approved by me. I have also made notes on how people may interpret the statue. As you are well aware of at this point, people do have opinions on what you build, especially when it comes to such an important spot in the town, so you should consider the design carefully.
Where do you want to put it exactly? The specific location might factor into my decision.
On the patch of grass at the square in front of your estate, that spot is terribly empty now, practically begging for a centerpiece. Here, please read the list and make a decision based on it. Option 1. Statue of the late sovereign. It is in poor taste to make a statue bearing one's own appearance. As such, I forbid any sovereign to make statues on themselves. However, late Sovereign Howard was a beloved sovereign who many townspeople would love to see depicted as a statue. This statue would represent the commitment of all sovereigns of the entertainment family to the well-being of their subjects. Building this will likely result in an increase of respect from those who have their roots in Mistwinter Bay, as well as those who support Sovereign Swordlake. It is likely, basically anyone, no one in that case. It is likely that those who are not too fond of Sovereign Swordlake would find this design distasteful, maybe even insulting. Option 2. Statue of the Empress. I am not against statues being erected in my honor. On the contrary, they are flattering gifts. As a design choice such a design choice would likely garner positive attention from the nobility as well. However, I suspect that other social classes would not be too keen on such an imperial design, regretfully. Option 3. Statue of the Avalorist Rose. Naturally, a Valorist would be quite flattered to have the statue be made in the image of the primary symbol of Avalorism, a rose. Voidists, on the other hand, would likely be disappointed. Option 4. Statue of the Void. It would be unjust of me to not offer the opportunity to erect a statue depicting the Voidist V. This design would make Voidists quite appreciative, whilst a Valorist will likely get insulted. Option 5. Statue of the Trader. Middle-class citizens make out the foundational pillar for every Stranian town. As such, a design portraying a trader, the typical image of the middle class, would likely be looked upon favorably by the middle class. Other classes, on the other hand, will most likely not be impressed. Option 6. Statue of the Worker. Since the lower class is easily forgotten in Stranian societies, it might do some good to flatter them with a statue depicting one of them, a hard-working physical laborer. Whilst the lower class will appreciate it, I doubt that the other classes will do so. Now, I will ask you the critical question. Which design do you want for the statue?
How much you wanna bet it will be the late sovereign and then everyone will get mad?
Number 4. Statue of the Void.
Well, now most people will be mad anyway. I would like to build a statue of the Void. Representing Voidism is important.
Then a Voidist V you shall have, expected to be in place at the start of next month. Also keep in mind that this design will likely alter the people's opinion of you.
I know, and I'm prepared for that.
Then you read my notes thoroughly. There is, however, something that the notes do not mention. The fact that any statue of this caliber will attract tourists who are willing to pay a few coins to see this work of art. You can expect your coin purse to get a bit heavier in the future. There, all done. I think the statue will fit the square perfectly.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Now that Mistwinter Bay has something to remember this era by, I would like to give my opinion on your ruling so far. Overall, I think you have done a good job.
How?
She likes that the people suffers. The town is thriving, as far as I can tell, and the people seem happy. More than that is too much to ask.
Who is happy?
No one, but Ophelia is happy, so that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah. We made Faye and Cecil happy. Neferu.
Yeah, Neferu likes us.
Minus 50? Oh, she's at 0. 45, 0, 45, 30.
Naturally, there are lots of improvements that still need to be made, but that is the case in every city. Look at Freykeep, my beloved home, and you will see a million things in need of improvement. For the short time you have governed, I think you have done really well. Congratulations, Swordlake.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
With that said, I can only wish that you continue as you have. Keep expanding, keep improving, and most importantly, keep your people safe, healthy, and happy.
I will, Your Majesty.
We will not keep them happy. I will take my leave now. The next time you see me, unless you suddenly change your path and become a troublesome ruler who I have to lecture, will be in 2.5 years when Mistwinter Bay becomes an official city-state. Until then, take care and keep doing what you do. The Stranian Empress turns around and walks out with her head held just as high as when she entered. A moment of calm silence blankets the throne room. You need a few seconds to process what Ophelia said, but you have little time for thoughts when Jack and Sophia approach. I was so anxious the entire time.
What do you take of that, kiddo? I understand what she was saying, if that's what you mean. Good, that's all you have to do when it comes to her. Listen, understand, and do what she wants. If it's reasonable and if it's what you want.
Just keep her words in mind. Disappointing or crossing her is something everyone should avoid if possible. She is the most powerful individual in all of Ruminus, after all.
I know that. I'll keep her feedback in mind moving forward. I will make Mistwinter Bay a proper city-state.
Wow, an achievement for getting a statue. You should look at our beautiful statue.
Wow.
The voidist symbol. Good thing we built the voidist shrine right next to it so it matches.
Yeah.
We're gonna get so many coins now.
Hur länge har vi spelat?
Jag tror vi började runt klockan 4 eller något sånt där. Så antingen så slutar vi nu, för nu har vi gjort ett helt år. Eller så kör vi till det blir early spring.
Fine.
Do you have a moment, Sovereign?
Of course, what's on your mind, nephew? Is it a Nagil?
I feel like I am in a dream because I saw a Nagil just now.
A Nagil? As in the snake people who live hidden in caves in the ground?
I don't know any other type of Nagil.
Where did you encounter this Nagil?
Just at the edge of the eastern forest by a field.
What was this Nagil doing?
I don't know, I didn't stay long enough to find out. I am well aware of the laws put in place after the Nagili truce. They say that people shouldn't interact with Nagili and let them live in peace.
That is true, there are laws stating that. Then again, if a Nagil willingly approaches someone, it isn't on the human to take the blame for it.
I can't tell if the Nagil tried to approach me or not. I was too far away and didn't want to risk anything by sticking around. There are plenty of stories about how brutal Nagil can be.
They also very rarely show themselves, so you might have been mistaken.
Do you think I'm making this up, Sovereign? I guess we'll see. Do we think she's making stuff up? 1? No.
Okay, thank you. No, I believe you. I am only speculating.
Good, because I heard the Nagil slithering around. There's no mistaking the sound of a massive snake moving across bumpy terrain. Anyway, I came here to tell you about my discovery since I thought you might want to know about it. I know that I'm not prepared to interact with a Nagil if it wants to contact someone for some reason, but you might be.
If it has friendly intentions, perhaps. But if it doesn't, it is much better to send guards to meet it.
I couldn't tell what its intentions were, it was too far away. Either way, I have said what I came here to say, so I should head home now. Goodbye, Sovereign. You aren't completely sure about how to handle this situation. The only thing you're certain of is that the Nagil must want something since it got so close to civilization. Nagil usually stick to forests so as to not get into conflicts with humans after all. If the Nagil was out to hurt someone, it would be foolish of you to go meet it yourself. If it was out to communicate with someone on friendly terms, sending guards there might scare it off for good. You can't know for certain what the Nagil's intentions were, so you have to make a guess so that you can choose an approach for your reaction. Let's see what we will do. Number 2. Go meet the Nagil in person.
Wow.
There is a risk that the Nagil is hostile, but you find that unlikely. Since Neferu managed to spot it and not get hurt, you figure that it's probably friendly. Maybe it even wants to help somehow. Even wants help somehow.
Yeah.
With that in mind, you get ready to head off to the field where Neferu found it. The field is empty when you arrive. You can see the edge of the forest fairly well, but some of the wheat is covering it at this distance. For a few minutes you stand still and wait. Nothing can be heard save for the wind blowing through the wheat. Then you hear a very distant sound of slithering across bumpy terrain. You can hardly believe your eyes when you spot a real living Nagil slithering towards you at a rapid pace. If it is hostile, you won't stand a chance now. Hellos.
Hello. Can I help you in some way?
Yes, I think so. I looks for a leader of town.
Then you have found the right person. I am Swordlake Entertainment, sovereign and leader of the town of Mistwinter Bay. That is the town right next to where we stand.
I has heard name before, Mistwinter Bay. I likes Mistwinter Bay, very pretty. I keeps watch, sees town grow lately. I likes town even more. I wants to go there, be with people.
You want to live in Mistwinter Bay?
Yes. We goes there now?
I'm afraid we have to sort out a few more things before I can let you anywhere near urban areas. First of all, do you have a name?
I am stupid, should have said a start. My name is Sassy.
Sassy?
Good enough. I am from AOCC tribe, in forest behind me.
Nice to meet you, Sassy of the AOCC tribe.
Nice to meet you, Swordlake. We goes to town now?
I can't let you in before I know what you want.
I wants to live with humans. Always been interested in humans. Tribe not approved. Tribe wary of humans. Still stuck in the past.
I can't say I blame them. Last time humans and Nagili interacted was during the Nagili War, which, as the name suggests, wasn't a good time in history. The war did end with the Nagili truce after 70 years of fighting, but I'm not sure that enough has changed in either group's view of the other to make it possible for a Nagil to live among humans. Many humans are still scared of Nagili. I would imagine that there are many Nagili who dislike us too.
Yes, tribe not like humans. But no problem, I explains to tribe what I wants. They have to understand.
I'm not sure it would be that easy. If they really dislike us, I doubt they want to hand one of their own over to us, even if you go willingly.
Please, Swordlake, I needs to live with humans. I not fits in with Nagili. Nagili are too brutal, too much hunting. I wants to read books. Only reading in tribe is wall paintings. Too little reading for me.
Then I certainly understand if you want to move into human society. But I'm not really sure if that's a good idea. What if they think we kidnapped you?
I explains they have no choice. Please, Swordlake, I wants to live with humans. I hates underground cave with little reading. Well, I guess we'll see if she can move in. Number 2. Offer diplomatic relationships instead.
I don't think that is a good idea to let you move in. We simply know too little about each other to take such a big step right away. But it might happen in the future if we learn more about each other through diplomatic relationships.
Diplomatic? I not understands that word.
It's basically a friendly relationship where both parties live in their own area but meet up to trade and exchange knowledge about their different cultures. In other words, you can still get access to books and human knowledge, but you still live with your tribe.
I not knows if good idea. I wants to leave tribe, too different from me. Also, tribe not like humans, might not want to have relationship.
We won't know until we ask, right?
You're right, Swordlake. Very wise.
Thank you. I assume that means you will go back to your tribe and discuss it with them?
I will. Maybe shows up later, maybe not. If I shows up for diplomatic relationship, will I be let into town?
Of course you will. I will give the guards strict instructions to let you in no matter what.
Good, then I will goes back to tribe, talks to them. Bye, Swordlake.
Bye, Sassy. I hope to see you soon. Well, I guess we keep going right away.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen where I put my... Hello, what an unexpected visit.
Swordlake, remember me, Sassy?
Of course I remember you. I thought you had forgotten about me. I haven't gotten a glimpse of you since we met on the field. I thought you wanted nothing to do with humans since you didn't show up again.
I want, but Chieftain need to come too. He not want to.
Yet he is here now, at least I assume so.
Yes.
Oh, you understand the common tongue as well?
Little.
Little bit is better than none at all. You're already better at human language than I am at Nagiliani. I assume you're here to negotiate some kind of diplomatic relationship.
Chieftain not think Nagili gain anything, but will listen to what you offer.
So I am supposed to dictate the nature of this relationship.
Explain. Gain.
You want to know what you can gain from this.
Changed.
You want to know what has changed in human society since the Nagili troops as well.
Chieftain want to know everything, but you choose what to say, Swordlake. He judges your words. Let's see what we'll say. 1. Humans have changed since the wars of the past.
It's probably important that you get to know what humans have changed. Get to know that humans have changed since the time of the Nagili War. That was a long time ago, so it's possible that humans and Nagili have a much easier time to get along now.
Changed?
You want to know how specifically we have changed?
Yes.
Well, the most important change to humans since the Nagili War is probably that we are...
Let's see. 2. Kinder and more open-minded.
Kinder and more open-minded.
Sassy. Aios. Heios iesois. Not easy to read.
Is that a laugh?
Heios iesois. Chieftain think humans are weak, no different from before.
Does that mean that a diplomatic relationship is...
So sassy. Chieftain have enough, we goes home now.
So we won't give a diplomatic relationship a chance?
No. So sassy. We leaves now, sorry Swordlake. Sassy and the chieftain leave as suddenly as they arrive. If not for the shocked look on your guards and staff's faces, you would have thought that you imagined the whole thing.
I suppose we just have to get back to work.
That went also great. I mean, it could have gone way worse.
It went a lot better than I thought it would.
They at least wanted to talk to us in a peaceful way.
Yeah.
And then they thought we were weak and funny.
Why do we have so little stone? Oh, we don't have any stone production.
Exactly. Because we built a farm and then Oscar died.
Yeah.
Hunter Lynx Lioness. Can even build even more.
Wow.
And a brothel with a brothel manager, Euphemia Kudarth. So many people who don't hate us.
So many. Anything planned for tonight, kiddo? Is it a trivia?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That depends on what you have planned. I'm not up for anything crazy. Haha, you take me for someone who would drag you out to the forest for a midnight sacrifice or something. You never know. I will have to disappoint you with the boring truth then. There's a trivia night down at the inn. I'm going, so I thought you might want to join as well. There's a prize pot for first, second and third place. Is it a lot of money? Pretty big sums for trivia, in my opinion. Alright, why not? Sounds like fun to me. Then let's get down there and have some fun.
Let's see how good we are at trivia.
Randomized trivia. There are lots of people here tonight. There usually are, but I'll admit that it's more than usual. A warning though, kiddo. This is a solo competition and I'm not going to help you in any way. I figured as much. So how does this work? We grab a paper from the bar and pick the right question for the one that the organizer asks out loud. There are multiple choice so that even people who can't read or write can participate. When all the questions have been asked, we hand the papers in for the organizer to count the correct answers. The one who has the most wins. Sounds easy enough? Mind grabbing pen and paper for me? Sure.
While Sophia heads over to the bar, you look around the room. You see locals from all parts of town, even those who normally wouldn't visit the inn. This competition might be more interesting than you thought.
Here's what you need. There are 10 questions. Did you really think this was going to be easy if there's money involved? No, but I had hoped that there would be fewer questions. Oh well, I suppose I will do good anyway. Considering that I'm the sovereign, I should have a lot more knowledge on things than the general public. Getting a bit cocky, are we? Don't be too sure about your victory because you still have to beat me.
Alright everyone, please quiet down a bit so that we can start the trivia contest. I will ask you 10 questions and I want you to mark your answer to each question on your paper. When all of the questions have been answered, hand your paper in to me marked with your name. If you can't write, I'll write it for you. So let's get on to the first question. Which of the following towns is not Stranian? Golbed, Demer, Alwell or Cirellon? Guess we'll see if we know everything. Imagine if we got all of them right by chance. The odds of that would be so low. Number 3. Starting off great with the wrong answer. You mark Alwell as the correct answer because as far as you remember, Alwell is in Stranian. I hope that everyone has smarter answers because we're on to question number 2. In which language does Cho mean you? Ancient Stranian, Ancient Utrian, Achaitan or Iskorian? Number 3 again, Achaitan. And that is actually the correct answer. Cho sounds like Achaitan to you, so you mark it as the correct answer. Question number 3. What species was Averal's steadfast companion according to the legends? A Pegasus, a pastel crane, a dog or a human? Number 1, a Pegasus. That is also correct.
It's going better than you would think.
You mark the first option as the correct one. Averal's steadfast companion was called the Steed and was a Pegasus who carried Averal across the sea as he created Ruminants. That's what the legends say at least. On to question number 4. Which of the following countries is not associated with rocks, stones, crystals or similar? Meblia, Utra, Achate or Fledal? Number 3, Achate. Wrong. You mark Achate as the answer because you associate Achate with fire, weapons, fighting and similar things, not rocks. They literally eat rocks.
Yeah.
Alright, time for question 5. In which country is polygamy legal? Strana, Meblia, Utra or Fledal? Number 1, Strana, which is wrong. Since Strana is the country with the most varying ways of life, you can only imagine that is the right answer, so you mark it down. It's time for question number 6. There are plenty of sports in Ruminus, but there is a particularly popular one that was invented in Strana and is mainly practiced there as well. What is that one called? Is it fencing, rowing, rummaging or floating? Number 2, rowing, which is wrong. You know that there is a popular Stranian water sport, and since rowing is a water sport, it feels like the right answer, so you mark it down. We have reached question number 7. What are the nuts that Iskorians grow from called? Amek, Vedamek, Amarak or Vedak? Number 4, Vedak, which is the correct answer. Vedak sounds right to you, not the least since you know that there is an important Iskorian festival called Vedak Amak, so you pick that as the correct answer. We are reaching the home stretch now with question number 8. Ethal is built on a social system where each Ethalian gets a title based on their singing voice. Which of the following is not an Ethalian title? Ilio, Amari, Feiri or Miori? Number 2, Amari.
The one that we sold.
Yeah, exactly. Amari doesn't sound like an Ethalian title, so you pick that as your answer. Shows how little we care about anything. Time for question 9. In Lady Rowena Talamon's latest book, she writes about many creatures from the void. Which of the following does she consider the only safe to interact with? Rift Mimics, the Red Mystic, the Kraken, or Sentryborns? Number 3, the Kraken, which is wrong. The Kraken sounds like a reasonable answer to you, so you mark it. And so we have arrived at the final question. Let's celebrate a bit by making it a very local one. The family who currently runs Mistwinter Bay got the crown at the end of the previous era. What was the name of the farmer who received the title of sovereign and began the entertainment noble lineage? Was it David, Howard, Malcolm or Richard? Number 3, Malcolm, which is wrong. You should know this, considering that is your family's history. You feel a name in the back of your mind and pick that one, Malcolm, which is odd, considering that you can't recall a single one of your ancestors being named Malcolm. And that's it. Please come to the bar and hand over your answers. I will check them as fast as I can.
How did it go, kiddo? I think I did well, all things considered. Well enough to win? Oh no. That remains to be seen. I wouldn't count any considering that I'm the competition.
You got like 2 or 3 right.
You think you got all of them right? I might have missed 1 or 2. They were pretty easy for someone working in politics who also has a bunch of general knowledge. I suppose you do know a thing or two about a lot of subjects. I think a lot of people struggle with the questions due to how multicultural a lot of them were. I agree, they weren't questions for the lower class, so to speak.
Alright everyone, we have a result. I will call out the top 3. If your name is called, please head over to the bar and collect a coin pouch waiting for you. In 3rd place with 8 correct answers, we have Sir Berm. Please collect a pouch. And in 2nd place with 9 correct answers, MG. Please collect the pouch. And she is proud because she beat us, so she got happy. And now the winner with all answers correct. It's none other than Sophia.
What a surprise!
Please collect your pouch. And so this little trivia contest is over. I hope you all had a good time because I certainly did. Good night everyone.
There are as many coins in here as I suspected. Congratulations, it was well deserved. Thank you! I wish I could say that you did a good job too, but I looked at your paper when I grabbed the pouch. You only had 3 answers right. You weren't supposed to look at that. Just like I weren't supposed to take the answer sheet with me either, but it was right in the open on the bar just now, so I thought you might want it. Here, you can read it while I go grab some ale for us, my treat. Should I really read it? I suppose I might, since the competition is already over.
Non-Australian town, option 2, Demer. Cho, option 3, a Chaitan. Averro's companion, option 1, a Pegasus. Not associated with rocks, option 1, Meblia. Polygamy, option 2, Meblia. Australian sport, option 4, floating. Iscorian nuts, option 4, Vedak. Ithalian titles, option 3, fairy. Safe creature, option 2, the red mystic. First sovereign of the entertainment family, option 4, Richard.
I should remember this, it's never wrong to learn more things. Standing here talking to yourself. Here, have an ale instead. Thank you.
Well, I mean, could have gone better, could have gone worse. It is probably around the amount of correct answers you would expect from randomizing things.
Yeah. Swordlake, your horse just died. Not even a hello first! He was knocking on death's door for years already. I had to get it out of the way so we can get to the heart of the matter. We had to decide on a new horse. Can you at least give me a second to grieve before I do that? There, that's 1 second. I hate you sometimes. But fine, what are my options for a new horse then? There are 3 you can choose from, but they are all from different price ranges. As one might expect. The first is just a regular horse, nothing fancy, but it has been raised as a workhorse, so it's physically strong. As a result, it costs just 250 coins. I think some will appreciate seeing you on a new horse, but most will probably not care. The second horse is the best one I could find. It's fast as lightning and it looks absolutely stunning with its white coat and blonde mane. Anyone who sees this horse is bound to be at least a little bit impressed, even foreign leaders. I dread to ask how much it costs. Well, it costs... What was that? It almost sounded like you said 500 coins. Sophia, does the horse really cost 500 coins? It's a really cool horse. I can't spend that much on a horse. I might be able to haggle the price down to 475. That's not much better. What's the last option? It better be something reasonable. The last option is to take a horse that's free. Free? Why would someone just give a horse away? Because no one else wants to buy it. It's a nice horse that follows commands well, but it got caught in a fire a few years ago, so it's covered in scars. As a result, it's slower than most, and some find it hard to look at. All in all, it wouldn't impress anyone. But like I said, it's free, and some animal lovers out there might appreciate that you choose to help an animal in need. I certainly wouldn't mind that. What's your opinion, kiddo? Which horse do you want?
Wow, we can actually afford all of the things.
We have almost 1,700.
Number 2, the expensive horse.
Wow, the expensive. I'll make the investment into the fancy horse just so I can impress some important people. But you better make sure that the price is 175, not 500. Alright, I'll handle it. I'm sure people will be happy seeing you on such a wonderful new horse. At least it will be more impressive than your old one. Don't be mean to my old horse, she was a good one. Now I just need the coins to pay for it. Here. You'll be greeting your new horse soon. And I'm genuinely sorry about the old one. I'm just treating it lightly to not make you too upset about it. I know, Sophia. We'll bury her together later tonight.
Wow, something that didn't go horribly and that actually made people like us. How are we in the like department now? Probably very bad. Well, 0, 5...
Minus 40.
10 and 10 because they had 0.
Because they're new.
Yeah. 15, Faye is our best friend. Oh no, Nefer is our best friend. And all the foreign leaders got so impressed, but Orig is still mad at us because we didn't save the Utrians who were shipwrecked, and then we didn't want to take his deal either.
Oh yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, well, since we are starting year 4 now, I think it's time to end the episode.
Yeah, we've been going for quite a while, and a lot of interesting things have happened. So, yeah, it's probably a good place to end it. So, remember, if you want to try the game for yourself, which we obviously think you should do, then it's available on Steam and itch. But we would recommend getting it on Steam, because then you can see everyone else's statistics with achievements and stuff, and that's actually pretty fun to see.
Yeah.
And if you have any suggestions for what we should do in the next episode, then feel free to leave a comment below, and we will get back to it eventually. We'll see when, because we are still developing the game, so that's our top priority. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.